trip.
Okay, let's see here. Do either of you need to for me to send you the link so you can share it up?
Yeah, because I'll just share it on Facebook just
Cool.
to get people,
Okay, I'll send it to you.
so we can get this TikTok going.
Copy link. And I think Rob usually doesn't ask for the link, right? I mean, Russ doesn't.
Yeah, I usually just I usually go find your page.
Okay.
And just share it from there.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. I could do it that way too.
Well, I just sent you the link.
Yeah, that make it much easier.
There you go.
Don't matter. I'll watch it later.
Okay, should I restart the timer and start the show?
Yeah.
I'll go for it.
All right. And you are on the air.
All right, what's going on? Welcome to another edition of Fair Catch. And it's Rob and that's Russ.
Yo.
That's where you invade.
Spoken for.
We'll invade your brain. Invade your brains with.
I don't know if I have much of a brain left, but we'll use what's there. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we've been out of school for how long? I don't know. It's that's tough to even figure that out.
I think that
I'm glad I still remember math.
I think the last time I was in school, I was driving a Flintstone car. So there you go. And anybody asks who the Flintstones are, you're going to timeout. I'm just saying.
But let's begin with the NFL. A lot of mini camps have started or came and went. You know, we're getting closer and closer to training camp. And I want to go through all the AFC teams because, and then in 2 weeks, we'll go through the NFC teams. Let's start with the AFC East and New England Patriots. We already know what happened last week. They added a pretty good receiver in A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I mean, it can't hurt, right? You know, I think with that, and they also have Romeo Dobbs. I have Kayshon Boutte as well, but he may be on his way out. But even so, I mean, they have a quarterback in Drake May. They have a pretty good defense, so they already have the makings of a contender. Not to mention Ramondre Stevenson and Trevon Henderson. So the offensively, they're there. It's whether they, the defense, that seems to be solid. I think what it comes down to is Drake May. Can he take that next step? So I mean, he had a kind of a drop off performance wise going from the regular season to the playoffs as far as like completion percentage goes. But
my thing is like, is there enough video of what Seattle did to affect him now this season? That's the answer. That's the answer we can find out. I mean, and
I think the Bills kind of exposed it a little bit as well in their second meeting with the Patriots, with that big comeback win. Drake May seemed to have a little trouble with pressure.
Mm-hmm.
And with the Bills going to more of a pressure defense this upcoming year, that'll be interesting to see what kind of adjustments Drake May makes, as well as the Patriots. I mean, A.J. Brown's a good player and everything, but it's not going to mean much if Drake May can't get rid of the ball on time. And that seemed to be one of the big problems with him in the Seahawks in the Super Bowl, because he missed some throws in that.
Oh yeah, For sure. I mean, plus the offensive line wasn't that good last season, too. I mean, he was getting pressured a lot during the regular season because of that offensive line and that. So let's move on to Miami. I think they got a better quarterback in Malik Willis, but who's he going to throw the ball to?
I don't think they have a better quarterback, to be honest with you. Malik Willis has only started a handful of games in the NFL, and I don't see it with Malik Willis. They're calling him Tua 2.0. Only Tua can throw better. You know, the thing about Tua was he's a good mid-range thrower. He just didn't have the deep ball. When you have guys like Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill, you have speed to burn. Can hit them. You should be able to hit those guys downfield all day long. But you know, he just couldn't. Not consistently anyway. He couldn't hit the deep ball. And then when they started to pressure him, to get pressure on him, I don't want to say he folded, but you know, he didn't. He just didn't perform that well. And with Malik Willis, I question his ability to throw the ball on a consistent basis. I mean, they're gonna. I don't know.
And that defense looked like it got depleted. I mean, Bradley Chubb obviously signed with the Bills. You got Minkah Fitzpatrick signing with the Jets, and then the only person that is probably the best player on their team is Achane, which.
Well, he's a good player. I mean, he is a very good player. I mean, and the interesting thing about with the Dolphins is that if Malik Willis doesn't work out, because he did sign a decently sized contract, Quinn Ewers is sitting there. So, and he did get some experience last year. Do they go to him at some point? Because to me, this is a rebuild. To me, anyway. I mean, they do have Devin Achane. They have Jalen Wright. Ollie Gordon showed some good things at the running back position. You know, and then as what you were saying, who are they going to throw the ball to? Right now, they're starting three. I'm looking at the ESPN depth chart that they have. You're looking at Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert, and Tutu Atwell, one of the great names of the NFL. That's about it. With him, he had his moments with the Rams, but after that, it's like, okay, Caleb Douglas, Chris Bell, who's coming off a torn ACL from when he played at Louisville. Had he not torn his ACL, he would have been a first round pick. And then Kevin Coleman Jr. And you know, after that, it's like, you know, you have a guy like Terrace Marshall, who was a high draft pick for Carolina a few years ago. Hasn't done much. Taj Washington, Jalen Reagor. I mean, okay. I just don't see the Dolphins getting past like 5 wins.
No, because I think the team that we're going to final team of the AFC East we're going to talk about is the Jets, who have, I think, a better quarterback now, and Geno's back.
No, they don't. You're talking. You ever make those paper airplanes? No, when you were a kid, and you threw it, and then it just went like that. You know, it just went straight down. That's going to be the Jets this year. They're. I'm not saying they're tanking, but the quarterback class is supposed to be one of the better quarterback classes that, you know, in the last while. So I think they're just riding this out, and they're going to take the best quarterback available. They may have the first overall pick next year.
Yeah, and which I did hear something stupid yesterday on CBS Sports. They said that watch out for the Jets; they could win the division. I just started laughing.
What were they smoking?
I was like,
what were they smoking, and why aren't they sharing?
Yeah, I would like to know.
Oh my goodness!
I mean, I still think the division's going to be between the Bills and the Patriots.
Yeah,
Hands down.
in general, the AFC is going to be packed.
Yeah.
I mean, to make the playoffs, you're gonna need the minimum 10 wins, at minimum.
So that leads us.
However, the division winners fall.
Which will lead us to the AFC North, which the shocker of the teams that won the division was Pittsburgh, but Baltimore looks like they got a better coach, and they're looking like they're going to get back on track, in my opinion. And this new coach is obviously a run heavy, which they do have, still have Derrick Henry, but who knows how he's going to last.
Well, you know what? He's ageless right now. He's just, that's just what he is. He's like 31 years old. They're going to be run heavy, but you're probably asking yourself, other than Derrick Henry, who do they have at running back? Because they did draft a kid in the 5th round that's really interesting. But as of right now, you have Derrick Henry, you have Justice Hill, Raheem Ali, and Adam Randall's the guy you need to kind of put in the vault a little bit. He's a 5th round pick, about the same. He has the same size dimensions as Derrick Henry, pretty fast. And interestingly enough, he was a wide receiver in college for a while, and then they switched him to running back. So, but again, there's not much behind Derrick Henry, and then you look at the receiver position, you have Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, and a Devontae Walker. So again, Zay Flowers is your guy. And a couple of guys. Rashad Bateman has had his moments, but really hasn't done all that much. The same thing with Devontae Walker. He's had a couple of good games here and there, but nothing really substantial. And they drafted a couple of guys, Jacoby Lane and Elijah Surratt. So again, you're looking at a lot of because it's new coaching staff. There may be an adjustment period, because the guy that has historically been Lamar Jackson's guy is Mark Andrews, and then they have a couple of guys behind him Matthew Hibner is a guy that seems to be generating some buzz. But but as the team goes, as Lamar Jackson goes, so does the.
Let's not forget their defense, getting Trey Hendrickson from Cincinnati. So we'll see how he adds to that defense.
Oh, he'll definitely add to that defense. He's a really good player. But the only thing I question is he getting to that point? Because as soon as players hit the age of 30, they decline for whatever reason. Some decline. Derrick Henry is an anomaly. He's not the norm. He's the exception.
Come on, you're going to scare me because Josh Allen is about to be 30.
Well, he's a quarterback, so I'm just positional players mostly. Aaron Rodgers played till he's 40. Brady played till he's 40. We'll see how that progresses. But if you're talking about like defensive linemen in particular, as soon as they hit 30 years old for whatever reason, even receivers, as soon as they hit 30, they tend to decline. So Hendrickson definitely helps. And he's a very good player. Coming off an injury from last year. But as long as they put him in places where he can succeed, he'll play well, and the rest of the defense is fine, depending on how they adjust to whatever scheme changes that they go for, or that they implement.
So that leads us to his former team, the Cincinnati Bengals, who I think if they stay healthy, they can win the division. The problem is, well, can Joe Burrow stay healthy?
Well, that is the big question. I mean, the guy. You can say this about a lot of teams. Okay, just about every team that when if their starting quarterback goes, there goes their team. And it proved itself with Joe Burrow last year. Now they do have Joe Flacco as a backup, and that's a solid move on the Bengals' part. And by and large, they have a good. Their offense is fantastic. Chase Brown is a really good running back, and then you have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Andre Yosivas is a very good third receiver. He's definitely had his moments.
And Gilsicki, you remember him, the tight end, Gilsicki or Mike. I think they still got him.
Yeah, Mike Gesicki's still there. Drew Sample's still there. Gesicki's had his moments. I mean, he burned the Bills a couple times in the game here.
Oh yeah.
So
even T. Higgins.
Yeah, so he's still a good player, but again, they lost Trey Hendrickson.
Yep,
but then
that's going to be their mark.
But then they gained Dexter Lawrence, and they have Jonathan Allen. So really, their defensive front is going to be the key. I mean, how do they adjust without Trey Hendrickson? Really?
Yeah, really the question mark is their defensive backfield because teams can throw all over them. And
yeah.
I mean, they always had a good defensive line, but it's their defensive backfield that cost them a lot of games too.
I mean, right now you're looking at Dax Hall at one cornerback spot, Jordan Battle at strong safety, Brian Cook free safety, and Jalen Davis as your nickelback, and then your DJ Turner is your other cornerback. So, I mean, you can say that about a lot of people. I mean, that was the thing with the Bills last year. I mean, especially a game, especially in the playoffs against the Broncos. You know, who did they have in the secondary? I mean, Trey White and Christian Benford, but they didn't have Maxwell Hairston. They had to rely on Dane Jackson, and Dane Jackson, the couple plays he was in, he got burned. So, hopefully that's rectified with the draft picks that they made. But a lot of this, and there's a lot, and with the coaching changes, how do teams adjust to the scheme changes? And the Bills are one of them. I'm not sure if some of those players fit the scheme, but if you put players in a position to where they can succeed, it may very well work out.
Yep. So the next team in Ohio is obviously the Cleveland Browns, which we talked about a little bit last week. It's probably the wheel of quarterbacks of who's going to be the starter.
Well, Deshaun Watson's there. At one point in time, he was a pretty good player. Hasn't been a good player for the Browns, but he was pretty good with the Texans.
Oh,
can
absolutely.
He find some of that? Can you find some of that, and bring it to bring it to Cleveland? I mean, they pretty much had an overhaul of their receiving core. They still have Jerry Jeudy. They have Cedric Tillman still. But now you're looking at Casey Concepcion, who was a first-round pick, and I believe Denzel Boston to Washington. He was their second-round pick. So they loaded up on receiver.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean much if you don't have a quarterback that can get them the ball. Of the quarterbacks that are there, I'm not sold on Shador, but he's just getting started. So you really can't make a judgment on him. And Deshaun, he's coming back from, injury and legal issues. Let's just put it that way. Is his head going to be there? Is his head going to be in the game? Is he going to do something stupid again? You don't know. But he's probably, if they want to win games now, Deshaun Watson is their best bet. If they want to, I mean, if they start losing in the beginning, they can put Shador in and see what they have.
Yeah, I
But
mean,
again,
he did have some promise.
I mean, well, at this point, with the quarterback class of next year, you're looking at maybe like 5 first-round picks in the first round as far as quarterbacks go. I mean, do the Browns want to stick with Deshaun Watson, Shador Sanders, or if they get the first overall pick, second overall pick, or even the third overall pick, I mean, you're looking at possibly getting a franchise quarterback for the next decade.
So yeah, I mean, plus I think on the defensive side, obviously trading Myles Garrett, we don't know if it'll hurt or if it'll help. But they did get Jared Verse, who's 25 years of age, and
they got a player. You see, a lot of people were guessing, well, why didn't the Bills get in on this? Why didn't the Bills make the trade? Why didn't they? Why didn't they do it? They didn't have the player to trade. The Rams did. So I'm not sure what people were expecting, but yeah, I mean, I think what the Browns got in return, they got enough pieces to make that trade worthwhile. Because Garrett, he was approaching 30. They weren't going to win with him, so why keep him?
Yeah. Plus they're rebuilding. Unfortunately, I mean that's what happened.
It's Cleveland. They're always on a rebuild.
Well, the next team, and unfortunately, we get the honor to see Aaron Rodgers last season, and it's very. I'm going to cry. I don't know, maybe one little tear.
Don't make me come over there and just and put you in timeout or something. Please don't.
No, I'm not going to cry.
But you know what? I mean, every year for the past 3 years or so, it's been like, oh, what's Aaron Rodgers going to do? What's Aaron Rodgers going to do? I think fans like myself, I'm sure there's other fans that are like, okay, he can move on already. I mean, the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to be probably pull their usuals, 9-8, and just make it to the playoffs, lose in the first round, maybe the second round, depending on if they squeak out the division again. So
yeah, wasting all that talent, obviously.
Well, I mean, the Steelers do have talent, but whether it's enough.
DJ Metcalf.
Yeah, I mean they do have DK Metcalf. The running back position, they have some talent there with Jalen Warren, Rico Dowdle. Caleb Johnson, I think, is the guy that they're waiting to step forward. He had a less than stellar rookie season. But like you said, they've got DK Metcalf, and they also got Michael Pittman Jr. from the Colts. So they have him and Jeremy Bernard, I believe he's out of Alabama. He's a rookie wide receiver that they have high hopes for. But then after that, it's like they got a bunch of guys: Roman Wilson, Ben Skowronek. Well,
because most of their talent's on defense.
Yeah, they do have some guys on defense. TJ Watt, I almost said JJ, whatever. Yep. But TJ Watt, he's great in his own right. Cam Hayward, and they have Derek Harmon and Keanu Benton. That's their defensive line at this point. And I mean, and they have Alex Highsmith. I mean, they have a good defense. Joey Porter Jr. You remember his dad? He was a headhunter
Oh,
of a
he was
linebacker.
he was
Him and James Harrison together, that was a nightmare in itself. But yeah, I mean, the Steelers are, but again, a team that has a new coach.
Yeah, and plus they're still going to be dangerous. They could still be a dangerous team because you don't know what Pittsburgh team you're going to get. And, they got the talent, but it's just, can they put it together?
Well, see, even if they put it together, I mean, again, this is a big if. If Aaron Rodgers can play like Aaron Rodgers, I mean, at this stage he's 43. So how much does he have left in the tank? Does he fall off? Does he fall off the table? We don't know that. But if he can put together a good season, they'll be 9-8, maybe 10-7. Because that's a tough division. If Joe Burrow stays healthy, the Bengals are the Bengals. They're going to be tough.
Yeah, that's why I think there's a favorite, Cincinnati, to be the favorites in the AFC North. That's big if Joe Burrow stays healthy.
But again, I mean, even Lamar Jackson's gotten banged up here and there. So now you're looking at, can if it falls like last year, can the Steelers sneak in and steal that division again? We'll see.
We'll see. So let's move on to the AFC West. I think this is actually another very good division, starting with Denver, who added Jalen Waddle to what offense already had weapons on anyway, with Mims, and then you have a great head coach like Sean Payton, who's like probably an offensive genius.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wouldn't say offensive genius, but let's face it, he's good at coaching quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he coached up Drew Brees pretty well during his time there. But how healthy is Bo Nix?
Yeah.
The mysterious ankle breaking in the Bills playoff game toward the end of the game. Bo Nix is healthy. Do the Patriots win? I don't know, but but you have a good collection of talent there at the receiver position. Cortland Sutton's back for another season. He's another year older, so I don't know what if he's going to be able to perform like he has in the past. But Jalen Waddle, like you said, they were able to add him. That's one heck of an addition. And Troy Franklin took a couple steps forward last year. And then you get Evan Ingram at tight end. So he's a little older now, but that's a nice grouping of talent in your running back position. This may be the part where you get a little concerned because J.K. Dobbins hasn't been able to stay healthy.
No.
R.J. Harvey was up and down in his rookie year. They drafted Jonah Coleman, who they like, and you have Jaleel McLaughlin. So, yeah, I mean, they have a great collection on offense, and they're also going to have, surprise, a new defensive coordinator. Well, not a new defensive coordinator, but how much did Jim Leonard mean to that defense?
Yeah.
But we'll find out. But
so on to the next team, Kansas City. Now that there is big questions, will Mahomes be healthy in time to start the season? We already know Kansas City's getting older. Obviously Kelsey's 37, 38. But the only positive that I saw really was them signing Kenneth Walker, the MVP of the winner of the Super Bowl. I think he was the MVP of the Super Bowl.
That's Seahawks. Who cares? But the health of Patrick Mahomes is a thing. He did participate in in minicamp. So that's a positive. Kenneth
Well, the
Walker is a
difference is
definite.
no pads.
But hey, but he was there. I mean, and then of course Kenneth Walker. Now the wide receiver position is really interesting because Rashee Rice is an idiot.
Yeah.
He's 30 days. He had to spend 30 days in jail. I think he's still in jail. And they don't. And I read somewhere where they don't plan on extending him this offseason. So we will have to wait and see there. Xavier Worthy had problems with injuries. And then you got Tyquan Thornton, former high pick of the Patriots. And he's got speed to burn, but he hasn't been consistent. So what are they doing there? I've heard some good things about Cyrus Allen. He's a 5th round pick though, and Jalen Royals, he's mid-round pick last year. So,
and obviously their biggest question was did they do enough on their offensive line? Because their offensive line was terrible.
Yeah, and that's been a question over the last few years, right? Really, the last couple of years. Protecting your number one asset, that's Patrick Mahomes. So what's if that doesn't happen, then you're looking at another missed playoff for the Kansas City Chiefs. Because again, if as Patrick Mahomes goes, so do the Chiefs, and that was proven last year. Now, an interesting part here, 2 interesting additions to the quarterback room, though. Justin Fields. So it'll be interesting to see what they can do with him. And Garrett Nussmeier. I believe he played for LSU. So he's an interesting developmental quarterback. I don't know if he'll make the field within the next couple of years, but that's definitely an interesting draft pick right there, possibly developmental project. We'll see how much longer Andy Reid coaches for, mind you, because he's been there a while now.
Yeah, he's in the second, I believe. So,
been there a while.
The next team, and the next team so talented, but yet they can't get out of their own way. We're talking about the Chargers. They have a good quarterback in Justin Herbert. Got a very good coach in Jim Harbaugh. They got very good talented receivers, running backs. But the offensive line didn't stay healthy last season.
Yeah,
but how much is it on?
Oh, that was a total train wreck. They lost both of their offensive tackles, Joe Alt and Rashawn Slater. And it was almost open season on Justin Herbert after that. And not only that, but their first round pick last year, Omarion Hampton, missed considerable time. So they lost games there, and then they had to rely on Kamani Vidal, who had a good season. I mean, he did play well, but and Lad McConkey had a down year too. And Quentin Johnson, he did okay. Trey Harris, he did okay, but the offensive line was just a complete and utter train wreck. So if they can get that improved, then you're looking at some. They'll make the playoffs, I think, but again, the AFC is going to be really tough, really tough.
And I think it's Denver's division to lose, to be honest.
It's Denver's division to lose if the Chiefs fall on their face.
Yeah.
Because I still think
last year, then we're definitely seeded.
Yeah, barring health issues, I think it's the Chiefs' division, to be honest with you. But they got some stuff to clean up themselves in the wide receiver room and the offensive line as well.
Yeah, and the last team, not least, the Las Vegas Raiders, will we see Mendoza this season because they got a very well-paid quarterback in Kirk Cousins.
Well, I don't think you see Mendoza immediately. I think because they could have gotten like any other quarterback to back up Mendoza, but when you bring in a Kirk Cousins, I think you're starting Kirk Cousins for at least up until their bye week. You know, so I think you're not going to see Fernando Mendoza immediately.
Plus, they got a familiar face on that defense in Taron Johnson, so wish him luck on that team.
Aaron Johnson, oh my goodness. There was a guy, you didn't like to see him go away, but you know what? I believe he was a 5th-round pick. They got some good years out of him. You know, really, really good, really good player. But yeah, I mean, it was sad to see him go, but well, I mean, he's there. I don't know if you know, I mean, he's going to like a 3-4 defensive scheme. I don't know what that means. If it, you know, if that's any kind of an adjustment for him. But yeah. But again, I mean, the Raiders, you're looking at maybe 5-6 wins.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, because they have Kirk Cousins, obviously. Ashton Jeanty is a great young running back. But then the receiver room, it's kind of scarily thin. You're looking at like Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor, and Jack Beck. You know, wholesale names, right? They don't.
Yeah.
So I'm not too sure what, you know. I mean, you could have somebody break out. You know, Trey Tucker had his moments. Jalen Naylor has had a game or two here and there. Jack Beck, this is his 2nd year as a rookie last year. I believe he was a 5th-round pick last year. So you don't know what you have there. I mean, somebody could break out, you know. And then, you know, the offensive line, we'll have to wait and see. I mean, this is a rebuilding team. It's I mean, so you don't know what you're getting out of the Raiders. Maybe 5-6 wins, you don't know. But yeah, I mean, definitely, I don't see the Raiders finishing. I don't see them finishing ahead of anybody else in the AFC West. So there's that.
All right, our next division, obviously, this was a wild division last season, and we'll start off with Houston, who I thought C.J. Stroud was very disappointing, but that defense is dangerously good.
Yeah, I mean, that is their MO. You know, I mean, their defense is fantastic. I mean, looking at just looking at it, I mean, Derek Stingley Jr. is one impressive cornerback.
Mm-hmm.
He is that good. And then you got Will Anderson Jr. And Daniil Hunter coming off the edge. That defense is going to be scary again. Now, what do the Texans need? They need C.J. Stroud to be C.J. Stroud of his rookie year. That's what they need. But at the same time, I mean, Nico Collins has to be healthy. You have Jaden Higgins and Tank Dell, who destroyed his knee. Looks like he's going to be coming back this year. And you got Jalen Noel as far as your wide receiver room goes. Running backs, you're looking at David Montgomery and Woody Marks.
Montgomery's getting up there
from the Lions. Yeah. So, so they have the makings of a decent offense. And their tight end, Dalton Schultz, who's going to be there for the next 20 years, probably. You never know. But he's a reliable target for CJ Stroud. I mean, it's all on the back of CJ Stroud right now. He's gotta find a way to up his game, Otherwise you're looking at, I mean, the division is,
Mm-hmm.
it's there. I mean, it's there for the taking. The Jaguars are probably their toughest competition. Maybe the Colts, but the Titans, they're kind of still in
Yeah,
that
they're rebuilding.
rebuild.
Yeah. So speaking of Jacksonville, they had a very good season. Trevor Lawrence looked very good, comfortable in Liam Cohen's offense. They got talented receivers. Well, the Bills beat them in the wild card, obviously. But can they improve on the wild card and be a much dangerous team?
Yeah, it is. This is going to show you how tough the AFC is going to be this year. To be honest with you, because they can equal their good play from last year and not make the playoffs. They can finish 9-8, even 10 wins, and maybe not make the playoff. So, but Trevor Lawrence did have a good season, yes, last year. Brian Thomas Jr. had a down year. Jacoby Myers came over from a trade, and played well. Parker Washington really established himself as a really good player, and Brenton Strange, a tight end, seemed to separate himself and is in firm control of that starting spot. So you have a nice collection in the receiving room. Bashal Tutin, we'll see what he can bring because ETN is no longer with them now.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then
He went to the Saints.
and then you got Chris Rodriguez coming over from the Redskins. So, if anything, the running back room for the Jaguars looks to be a liability unless Tutin can find his game.
Mm-hmm. And their defense, it's like they're hit or miss, I think. I mean, Josh Hines Allen, he's a decent player, but beyond him, it's like, who's that?
You have Trayvon Walker, who seems to. I think he's a decent player. I mean, last year, 3.5 sacks is not going to cut it. And you know what? This is a first overall pick, 2022. So you've got to. He has to be better, for sure. And then from there, who else really? I mean, and the thing was, with Walker, in 2024 he had 10.5 sacks. The year before that, in 2023, he had 10, and then dropped down to 3.5 in 2025. And they need more out of him. And then if they can get if they can get their edge rushers to get to the quarterback on a consistent basis, yeah, I mean the defense can definitely improve. I mean, they went 13-4 last, so a lot of things went right for them.
Yeah,
but at the same time, they came up short. They need more.
Yeah. The next team, it's Indianapolis Colts. Obviously, Daniel Jones had a hot start when going 7-1, but then that injury bug happened, and then they had to go out and get a grandpa named Phillip Rivers.
Yeah, how about that one? Oh, Lord. He's literally a grandpa.
Yes.
Literally a grandpa. It was a shame to see what happened to Daniel Jones because when he was let go, when he left the Giants, everybody was laughing. They were laughing at the Colts.
That wasn't nothing funny.
They were 7-1. They were number 1 in the AFC and cruising, and then that injury happens, and then you're like, oh boy, now what? So Daniel Jones, again, they have Anthony Richardson, who was a high first-round pick, really hasn't done much. So I don't know what they do, because Daniel Jones, he's a decent quarterback. He's got Jonathan Taylor that he can lean on in the running game.
Yeah.
Alec Pierce, he's got injury difficulties right now, but they do have Josh Downs, Nick Westbrook, Ikene. But there's really not all that much there in the receiving room. Now, if Alec Pierce can get healthy, then their receiving room looks a lot better. But the guy that it's going to be built around is going to be their tight end Tyler Warren. So
it's definitely it's going to be interesting to see if Daniel Jones can get back to what he was at the start of the season. But it's a tough injury that he really had, and it's hard to come back from that injury, I'm sure.
He is. You hope for the Colts' sake that he can come back at 100%. Because without him, you're looking at 5 wins, maybe 6. And I'll tell you what. And I keep on bringing up the quarterback class of next year. Mm-hmm. You're looking at Arch Manning out of Texas. We all know about him.
Oh yeah,
Dante Moore out of Oregon. Julian Sayin from Ohio State. Lenora Sellers out of South Carolina. Jaden Maeva. I butchered that. I'm sorry, kid. Sorry. Look, I dare you to try. No. But he's out of USC, and then there's a bunch of other prospects after that. But those are the 5 primary guys. I'm telling you, if some of these teams fall off because due to an injury to their quarterback, like the Colts, like the Steelers. I mean, I'm not saying that they'll tank, but darn, I mean, quarterback talent's there for next year, supposedly. I mean, you don't know how these guys are going to turn out, but some of them may say, okay, the heck with it. Let's just tank and go for it, Yeah.
Where have I heard of Manning with Indy before? Yeah. We all know.
Well, here's something for you. Peyton Manning's son is starting to get there as far as quarterback goes, and so is Tom Brady's son.
We're aging ourselves.
I mean, but Arch Manning, Cooper Manning's son.
I have respect for Peyton Manning's son, though. He's a big Josh Allen fan.
Well, but yeah, so I mean, this year is going to be real interesting to see if a team gets off to a slow start. Yeah. Do they make the decision to tank the rest of the season to get one of the quarterbacks that I mentioned? Or do they try to just squeak into the playoffs and maybe lose in the first round? I mean, I think it's a valid question. Because how some teams are.
Mm-hmm. So I want to get Tennessee. We obviously know they're in a rebuilding stage. So I mean, I want to get to that debate of Jarmo and Lindy. There's a person on this station who's the quarterback or is the bus driver of No Exit Experience on Saturdays at 5. I just wanted to plug that in. He's saying that Jarmo is the one that turned the Sabres around, but then you have on the other side Lindy turning the season around.
I think the players. I think it's a combination of both. Mm-hmm. Really, I feel bad for Kevin Adams because it was his team.
Yeah.
Okay. I think two things. They bought into Lindy's system, but at the same time, when they made the change at GM, there was a speech given by Jarmo to the locker room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we can speculate what was said. I think the point was you're playing for your jobs.
Yep.
So, a combination of both. You buy into what the coach is saying, and you took to heart that speech. So whether it was one thing or another, I don't know if you. I don't know, because you know what, you can sit there and point to guys and say, hey, you're playing for your jobs. Well, what if they wanted out of Buffalo to begin with? Okay, then get rid of me. So they had to buy into what Lindy was doing as a head coach too. So I think it was a combination of both.
Yeah. So what solves the debate? If you're picking Jarmo, you're right. If you're picking Lindy, you're right. That's the debate over.
Yeah, pretty much. And I don't even know if it has to be a debate.
No, it's not. I don't think it is. I don't think it was.
I mean, Mr. Bus Driver is trying to stir is honking the horn, trying to wake up the neighbors.
He's trying to create that controversy. You save that for football with quarterback controversies.
Yeah, save that for the Doug Flutie or Rob Johnson.
Oh, brother, don't even remind me.
That was a debate back then.
Don't even say Tom Donahoe, because I'd light him on fire really quick.
Tom Donahoe. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I mean, trying to say, oh, this guy's it was more this guy than that guy. I just think that the team bought into what Lindy was trying to do, and it worked.
Mm-hmm.
It worked. I think the shortcomings of the Sabres were, in the end, it was goaltending. The back end of the defense, the number 5 and 6 spots, and another goal scorer.
And definitely for our next show, since it's going to be closer to free agency, so we'll see what they do in free agency.
Well, you also got the draft coming up. Trades can be made there.
Yeah, I think it's a couple, about 2 weeks.
2 weeks. 2 weeks-ish,
yep.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot that can be done in the next, I'll say, month.
Yeah.
So you're looking at with the draft, there's trades to be made. I'll never forget the one trade that they made at, I believe it was during a draft. It was Michael Pekka and Alex McGillney. Everybody's like, what the heck are you doing? Turns out we had a captain. We traded for our captain, and McGillney had a pretty good few years with Vancouver and wound up getting a Stanley Cup with the Devils. But the Sabres made out okay in that trade. Yep. But yeah, so deals between now and then, you're looking at possible free agent. Retaining the free agents you want, and you're looking at a trade or two.
Yeah. So real quick, we got 2 championships. We don't have really much time, except 8 minutes. But I think, does New York City have any heart monitors going on? Because a 29-point comeback and winning at the last second, 107-106, and the Knicks are 1 game away from winning the championship.
Yeah, I man, what a comeback! What a comeback! I wouldn't call it the greatest comeback in NBA history, because I remember a comeback the Celtics made against the Nets. That's going way back. I believe it was the Celtics and the Nets. Huh?
That's way before Brooklyn.
Yeah. The Nets. They were in Jersey at the time. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how the Spurs come back after this one.
And I think that injury really affected the series, unfortunately. they happen. Unfortunately, sometimes it happens at the wrong time. We all know what happened with Jay McKee in Game 7 of 05-06. So,
No. Well, Julian Champagne, went 2 of 9 from the field.
mm,
And 1 of 7 from 3-point land. So, you can look at something like that. To blow a 29-point lead, that is. I wonder what the win percentage was for the Knicks at that point when they were down by 29. What was the win? What was their win probability? Probably like 1% or something like that.
Yeah, 4.1%, 0.2%, and
whatever it was. They defied physics. They defied everything. So and the Knicks. And again, you're looking at contributions. Jalen Brunson, 36 points, 12 of 25 from the field, 25 shots. And then you have OG. I always screw his last name up. I'm sorry. Anunoby. I me and names tonight for whatever. He scored 33. So, I'm sorry, but you don't lose a game that you're up by 29.
Yeah, well, there was a team that gave up 32 points in one half in the 93. I don't remember, and some backup quarterback came back from 32 down.
Yeah, but that's we will forever laugh at the Oilers for that.
Yes,
but
yeah, in basketball, it is tough to come back from like a 29-point lead, but
that would be the equivalent, I guess, to Oilers Bills in '93. But wow, in the finals, man, you got to close it out. You gotta close that out. Chances are, I think the Spurs are going to win Game 5 somehow, and then the pressure goes on the Knicks in Game 6. And then they.
But who knows?
After
but who knows?
But I will say this: the Knicks can't let up. They can't relax. Spurs may very well take Game 5, but Game 6, the pressure's on them if they make it. If it gets there, and that'll be rough.
Yeah, that's the question: is who knows how the Spurs will react? It can be deflating, or it could say, "Wait a minute, we played a very good game, majority of it, and we just gave up 29 points." So we'll see. Obviously, the Stanley Cup Finals is looking pretty good. All the games, 1-goal games, pretty much. I'm not going to be surprised if the Stanley Cup's won in 7 games.
No, this has 7 games written all over it. This really does. Now you're looking. It's really anybody's series. Now the Carolina Hurricanes have home ice, best out of 3. Nikolai Ehlers is having a series. Jordan Staal is having a series. Sebastian Aho is kind of off the milk carton. He had an assist, but he still has yet to really show himself in this series. In the next 3 games, best out of 3. Now's the time. So there is. Game 5 that's going to be something.
It's going to, like I said, these games have been very exciting, especially being 1-goal games and a couple of overtimes too, mind you. My sister, who's a big fan of, she's a season ticket holder, I'll tell you what, she was saying that one game she had almost having a heart attack, being down. They were up 3-0. Carolina comes back, ties the game at 3, and then Vegas wins the game in overtime. But,
Wait a minute, who is she a season ticket holder for?
Golden Knights.
Tell her
They
to
live
sit
in
in
Vegas.
timeout. She's put in timeout.
Well,
No.
they live in Vegas. They live in Vegas.
Oh,
My brother. Well,
uh,
I feel bad for them because they got the season tickets to the Raiders too. So it's really
okay, we'll allow it.
Yeah, it evens it out.
But yeah, I think whoever wins Game 5,
Mhm.
the home ice means nothing apparently.
Yeah,
So,
obviously that's Montreal and Buffalo.
but obviously home ice means that doesn't mean all that much. So what does that mean for the series? Best out of 3, 2 in Carolina, 1 in Vegas. Because if Carolina takes Game 5,
Mhm.
I think you're looking at Game 7.
I agree. I think it's going to be it's a 7 game, and the NHL would love it too because Game 7 for the best trophy in sports. That's hockey written guarantee. So, last but not least, would Richard win the Wimbledon by any chance for tennis?
He's got a good serve, and he's got great ground strokes. But does he have the cardio? Does he have the endurance? Would be my question. But I think he can win a couple of rounds for sure.
Oh yeah, I think he would win easily in Wimbledon. All right, guys, we'll see you in 2 weeks then.
Peace.